In this video, I'll show you the basics on how to use the paint tools to color and annotate a graph paper. I'm going to assume that you are already comfortable creating a custom graph paper. Before moving a graph paper to be painted, it is important to get your layout just exactly how you want it. Grid, colors, everything. Because paint works with a graph paper that has been converted into an image, which means it is frozen and it can't be changed. If you later discover that you need the graph paper to be slightly different, you'll have to quit Paint, open and edit the graph paper, and then bring that new revised layout into Paint. Let's get started and bring this graph paper into Paint. At the top right is the Paintbrush button that opens Paint. To begin the transfer of the graph paper, pick the image quality you want to work with. There are three options. The smaller 612 by 792 pixel image will be the fastest of the three to load, be the most responsive while painting, and have the smallest file size. However, as you go up in quality, the image becomes more crisp as the file size grows. I'll pick one. The image with the full graph paper is brought into Paint. At the bottom left is the Paint tool with the painting and annotation tools. Let's walk through the toolbox and explore Paint's basic features. First up is the brush. It paints with solid color. It is selected, so the tools to the right are the brush tools. I can tap to choose a color family. Then I can choose the actual color to paint with by tapping a shade on the ribbon below. If working with the color in RGB values is important to you, this tip might be helpful. Look to the far right. The small text above the palette reports the RGB value of the selected color. Now, wherever I tap on the grid, it's painted. I can make this easier by using the pinch and zoom gesture to zoom in. To erase, I can go to the top of the screen and tap Undo. I can overwrite an individual spot of color with the No Color choice on the far left of the palette ribbon. Or to completely start over, I can tap Erase All button at the top. Let's try painting with blue again. The next tool in the toolbox is Texture. It offers a range of colors for painting in the last selected color. If I go back to Paint, I can change the color. Let's pick orange. And the texture I had last chosen remains selected, but it is now in the new color. As you settle into the colors and textures used in a project, here I'm making a checkerboard pattern, the timeline is handy because it displays the colors and textures that have been used in this paper, followed by the colors and textures used during previous sessions. Let's go back to the toolbox in the lower left. The bottom row of the toolbox has the annotation tools. Text has controls for size, color, and background. Tap in the spot where you'd like to place text. A box appears where you can enter the text. I'll tap in the entry box to bring up the keyboard. And can tap anywhere to close the text box. To edit text, just tap it to highlight and open up the edit tools. Text can have a transparent background, as it is by default, or white background. I'll switch the background to white, change the text color to green, and make it a bit larger. To move the text, I tap and drag it to where I want it. A tap anywhere closes the text editing. There are three line drawing tools: freehand, straight, and 45°. Each has the same set of controls for line weight and color. And again, just like with text, I can tap a line and open the edit tools and move it. Sometimes you'll only want the coloring, the grid, or some of the annotations. The final tool, the eye, has toggles for the paint, grid, and annotation layers. To the left of these is the button to hide the image. If we had brought in an image with the grid, that button will toggle the visibility of the image. Layers are brought back by unhiding a layer or by selecting an element in the toolbar. That's the basics on how to color and annotate a grid paper. Now, if you are thinking painting and annotating looks a little tedious, please make time to watch the second video on painting. It walks through the advanced set of tools that make painting and annotating a grid much easier, as well as how to build a custom palette of colors.